day 12 of 15 days of foundation. I ate chocolate chip cookies for breakfast and it's snowing outside today in Seattle, so it's gonna be a good day. Feeling good about day 12. This is where I try out a new foundation every single day for 15 days. 15 days of foundation is also part of a charity campaign I do with Project Beauty Share every year. We're shooting to raise $25,000 this series. We have 3 more days left. Wait, no, 4 more days. Wait, is it day 12 or day 11? We only have 3 days left. Since we're getting close to the end here, every single dollar does count. So I'm going to leave a link to the website down below where you can donate through. But if you literally can only donate $1, $2, $5, whatever you can, if 5,000 of you, which is just like a smidge of the people watching this, donate $1, that's $5,000 there. So every single dollar does make a difference. You can vote once a day at the link down below for the shelter that you want to win $10,000, and I'm also going to be doing a meetup in that winning city. So let's get into day 12. Today we're doing a kind of like older foundation that has resurfaced. This is the Becca Ultimate Coverage 24-Hour Foundation. This Becca one retails for $44. You get 1.01 ounces of product, and it comes in 24 shades. So I picked up the shade Linen. I'm going to insert swatches right here so we can see what the shade Linen looks like compared to some other foundations. All right, here we have some swatches. Right here's the Becca Ultimate Coverage Foundation in the shade Linen. Yesterday's foundation, the Cover FX Natural Finish Foundation in P20. Cover FX Custom Cover Drops in N10. Oh, this was actually N. Did I say P20? N20. Makeup Forever Stick Foundation in Y205. Fenty Beauty Foundation in 110. CYO Life Proof in 101. Dermacol 208. This one says it's an oil-free, full coverage liquid foundation that looks and feels weightless on the skin for 24-hour water-resistant wear. It's supposed to give a second skin but full coverage finish. If you've been enjoying 15 Days of Foundation Season 6, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. I have 5 other seasons of this. They're all in playlists if you want to go back and watch any others, but let's get into day 12. I wish I could somehow have my heater on when I film because it is so freaking cold in this room right now. Right now it's 10:08 in the morning when we're starting this. It's actually February 10th when I'm filming this one, and Seattle's getting so much snow right now. It is so exciting. Usually we get like a day or 2 of snow all year, and it's been snowing. It snowed for like I think 3 days already, and it's supposed to snow like throughout next week, so this is crazy. Ooh, that shade looks promising. So I have tried this foundation years ago. One time I got like a sample from Sephora, and it was right when I moved to Seattle, so like 4 or 5 years ago. Back then I had acne and oily skin, so my skin is completely different now, but I remember really not liking it back then. The lightest shade was like super orange on me. I think they did come out with more shades, I'm pretty sure. It also just looked super heavy and cakey back then, so I'm curious to see how it works for my skin now. I'm not sure if they reformulated the formula or just came out with more shades, but they definitely changed something between then and now. So let's start out with the brush on this side of my face. So it's supposed to be full coverage, and it says skin-like finish. Woo! Yep, full coverage. Okay, I'm gonna spread this up to my forehead. This foundation has been around for a while. It kind of like blew up again this year for some reason. I think someone did a video on it, but it blew up again, and a bunch of you guys have been asking me to review this since that happened this year, so that's why I'm including it in this series. Ooh, shade is really nice. It doesn't feel like super lightweight. Like I definitely feel like I have kind of like a thicker foundation on right now. It is looking a bit dry and heavy in certain areas, but not like horrible or anything. Let's see how it looks with the sponge. I did get full coverage with that brush. And this one on the description, it does say to moisturize really well. I did the same thing I did before every single foundation. I always put the moisturizer I use in the description box. Like usual, I'm getting lighter coverage with the sponge. I almost never get better coverage with the sponge. But it still looks like high coverage. I think if I just built it up a little bit right there, we could get it to the same kind of coverage on the other side. But I feel like the sponge is using a lot more product for less coverage. Okay, so with nothing on this, I'm just going to go ahead and smooth out right here, over here, everywhere. Oh, that's looking better. Okay, so I think with this one, like usual, I think my favorite way to apply it is with the brush and then kind of go over it with a damp sponge just to really smooth out the finish. And that's looking much better. It looks really pretty now on this side. It still looks a bit heavy in certain areas. I have a feeling this one is going to crease just because of how it does feel a little bit like heavier, and it is a cream foundation and you can feel that. But we'll see throughout the day. But right now I'm thinking I would definitely use a primer under this one next time just to help like smooth out certain areas. And then I would probably spray my face with a setting spray. But I'm going to go over with a sponge right here to see if we can build it up just in this area. I'm not going to bring this anywhere else because like I said, it's pretty thick. That built really nicely. Now it's total full coverage right there. So I do think this is one that if you have acne, you could definitely build this up to cover, or it would probably cover pretty well with the brush on one layer. It's getting pretty cakey looking around my nose right here, so I'm just going to take a smaller brush, kind of blend that in. Yeah, it's definitely settling into my like nose creases right here on the outside, and it looks a bit cakey around my nose, but everywhere else is looking pretty good. Finish does look matte, satin matte. We'll see if it dries down to more of a matte finish. They say it's supposed to have like a skin-like finish. I wouldn't necessarily say this one looks skin-like at all. I can definitely like see it on my face. It does feel like I could blend stuff on top. Doesn't feel super tacky, so I like that. It feels like it's setting down nicely. It is supposed to be like totally transfer proof, water resistant, stay on for 24 hours. It's 10:16, so I'm gonna do the rest of my makeup. We'll be back. I'll tell you what's on my face. We'll do a flash test, all of that jazz, you know? Okay, so it's now almost 11 o'clock, but the check-in time is 10:15, and I feel like it's looking good on camera. Like when I'm looking in the viewfinder, it looks very just like flawless and everything. Hopefully when I do the shot in natural lighting, you guys will be able to see kind of more what I'm seeing. This one would be a good like filming foundation, I guess, but in real life, it's not looking the best. It doesn't look horrid, but I do look pretty cakey and dry. I have a feeling this one is just not going to be for dry skin. I think right now, you know, I'm not feeling this one on its own. I would definitely need to mix in something a little bit more smoothing with this foundation, and definitely use some kind of like setting spray with this one. I don't think a setting spray alone would be enough. I think I would need to mix in a full other foundation with this one, because just how heavy and kind of thick it is, at least on my skin, it's just not looking the best over like texture and pores and creasing and everything. Didn't have to set my face though, so that's nice. I could just blend stuff easily on top of it, so that's a plus. But makeup on the rest of my face, and then I'll show you guys what it looks like in natural lighting. I haven't been able to put this bronzer down. This is the Milani 01 Silky Matte Bronzer again. For highlight, I went in with the Becca Malika Chloe palette, went in with the shade, and then also for blush, I used like a mix of these two shades. Lips, I mixed these two. This is the Ofra Miami Fever, and then this is a new L'Oreal liquid lipstick in Empower. I haven't used this on its own yet, so I'm not sure how I feel about the formula, but this just kind of like lightened it, made it a little bit less orangey. For eyeshadow, I think this palette is new, but this is from Shop Miss A. They have super affordable eyeshadow palettes, and a lot of them are bomb, the ones I've tried so far, and I just went in with, you know, a mix of like mattes and shimmers in here. The gold one kind of like burned my lid a little bit, so I'm not sure if I'm allergic to one of the ingredients in here or something, but I guess we'll find out throughout the day. So check-in time is 10:15. Let's go see what this looks like in natural lighting. Okay, we are in natural natural lighting. Oh, my camera started playing. So like I said, it just looks a bit on the heavy side, so I'm gonna zoom in. I think it's picking up on camera, so it looks pretty heavy around this whole area, like around my nose right here. And I don't bring my concealer down here, I just keep it right here when I film these videos, and just usually on an everyday basis too. So that is not the concealer, that's the foundation. This freaking camera, I swear. Okay, I feel like it's not fully picking up on camera. I'm like trying to shade off my face so you can see, but it is creasing. Gonna have to take my word for it if you can't see. It's majorly creasing like around here, and overall just looks a bit heavy. Let's see my forehead. Forehead doesn't look too bad, but yeah, definitely looks heavy right here. So let's take a flash photo. Okay, not too bad, but it definitely looks about a half shade lighter than my neck in the photo, and I feel like in real life the shade matches pretty well, like it's pretty close to my neck. So I think there's a little bit of bounce back. It doesn't look as good in photography, I feel, as it does on video. I probably wouldn't wear this one in flash photos either, but we're gonna wear this throughout the day. I'll check in with you guys in a few hours in natural lighting. All right, it's now 4:24, so it's been on for 6 hours, and I did have to lay down on the side of my face, so I wasn't feeling too well, but this is supposed to be transfer proof, so we're gonna take a look at that in a second. But overall, by the way, it just started snowing, like heavily, so this is very exciting and distracting. But let's look at foundation. So overall, it's definitely oxidized about a shade, maybe here, there we go, yeah. It looks like it's oxidized about a shade. The creasing has gotten worse. See on my upper lip, those are some pretty there crease lines right there, and around here. My face looks very dry in certain areas, like on my chin too. I usually don't get dry kind of looking there. My forehead looks pretty glowy, so it's like in some parts it looks almost like dewy, but still dry if you look really close, and then other parts it just looks like straight up deserty, dry, cakey. It looks really horrible around my nose area. Right now I'm thinking this one probably isn't the best for dry skin, is what it's seeming like. As far as transferring when I was laying down, I mean, my bronzer definitely seemed to rub off more on this side. Maybe a little bit of foundation. It looks like it's still like on there a little bit, but definitely my blush and bronzer rubbed off, like compared to this side of my face. It almost looks like there's nothing on this side. But I'll see you guys at the end of the night. Have I ever looked better? All right, so it is now the end of the night. I will explain this situation happening on my face right now. Wow, it is 8:07, so it's been on for almost 10 hours. Basically, I was wearing the YSL Baby Doll mascara today, and I think either this or the eyeshadow was like totally irritating my eyes. I'm pretty sure this was like massively crumbling and falling into my eyes. So I eventually had to like wipe off this area. This happened a couple hours ago. Then I was like laying down on my face, and this is 100% not transfer proof. Let me just say that. So the whole transfer resistant claim, yeah, definitely not true. Like, it's still on in certain parts. It looks extra messed up because I obviously don't have any concealer or anything on right here. And then the foundation just like starts. Definitely on this side of my face, which is where I was laying. And then it's on a little bit on my forehead. I'll zoom in. You guys, this is, I can't believe I'm putting this on the internet. Wow, what'd I do for YouTube, honestly? I basically look like a desert in the areas that it did stay on. So it's obviously like totally rubbed off here. I look very dry and deserty everywhere else. It's rubbed off on my chin. And then, oh man, on my forehead. It does still look like it's on a little bit. Definitely not, you know, it's not like full coverage anymore at all. But it is on a tiny bit. It just looks super dry. And I did look before I kind of like laid down and stuff, and it looked basically the same. Like, it just looked super dry. So I would say this one is just not for dry skin. Definitely not transfer proof. So if you're looking for one that is, this is not that foundation. Maybe if you have oily skin, this one would look way differently, but on dry skin it just looks too heavy, too dry and deserty and cakey. But like I said, I'm going to try mixing this one because I have a feeling I might be able to make this work. I do like the shade, and like I said, I've been more into matte foundation, so I don't mind that it has more of a matte finish if I can make it look less cakey and just more like nice looking on the skin and less textured. I kind of have hope for this one. Like, I think I can make it work. I don't think it's totally awful or anything. I just don't think it's for dry skin. So if you guys enjoyed day 12, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. I love you guys. Thanks for watching. See you tomorrow. Bye.